As a planet, we're throwing away more than ever before. And here in California, it's the front line of the global war on waste. Welcome to the mega landfill, one of the biggest destinations for our trash in the world.
Up top, boss, go ahead.
In the UK, we think we do big landfill, but here it's on another level. Dealing with nearly 1 million bin bags worth of rubbish every day.
Not a good smell. Like a guy not going in the shower for a month or so.
So what does it take to tackle this tidal wave of trash? With exclusive access, we go behind the scenes and spill the secrets of this super site.
This machine detects the radiation. There's some radiation in his lung.
Meet the troops on the front line, battling the bin juice.
I see a horse, a big horse. It wasn't the bin.
The mighty machines that move mountains of muck.
As you can feel beneath us, the ground shaking. It's not solid. The landfill's constantly settling.
And the pioneering tech taking trash into the future.
So there it goes. So where we're standing right now, we're going to be 100 feet below trash.
Welcome to Secrets of the Mega Landfill. The hills of Orange County in California. A gentle, peaceful place far away from any signs of hustle and bustle. Well, maybe not. This is Frank R. Bowerman Landfill. The last place you'd think to find one of the biggest landfill sites in the world. Every day, this 725-acre site faces the challenge of dealing with 8,500 tons of trash. It might be out of sight, out of mind when it's dumped on the curb, but it's just the start of an extraordinary journey into the afterlife of junk never seen before. "5:30 a.m. and with cities all across the state about to wake up and put out millions of bins of rubbish, there's no time to waste at the landfill site. Just like the locals, it's time to pull back the covers and rise and shine. Every night, the trash from the day before is put to bed under nearly 2,000 feet of covers that must be taken off before any more can get in.
They are 40 feet wide by 150 feet long, and there's usually 2 tarps per spool.
Overseeing this mammoth task is Landfill Operations Superintendent Greg.
Adrian, can you make a pass for that water truck over here by the landing where we're working?
These heavy-duty covers help keep away vermin and prevent fires. But they're also vital to the landfill operation.
We used to cover it with 6 inches of dirt. By replacing that dirt with tarps, it preserves that space where dirt used to consume.
It doesn't sound much, but half a foot is crucial when space is at a premium.
We're able to put trash right on top of trash.
And boy, there's a lot of trash. Below Greg's feet is a massive lined sink full of rubbish that reaches an epic 450 feet deep. Enough to bury the Statue of Liberty 1.5 times over. In charge of one of these giant machines is Javier, or Big Cat to his friends.
You want to grab the empty?
Yeah, that'll give them time to move the other spools out of the way.
In less than 90 minutes, Big Cat and the rest of the team must have the site ready. Otherwise, there will be chaos at the gate when hundreds of rubbish trucks arrive. In just one day, America alone chucks away 60 million plastic bottles, 220,000 tons of packaging, and 38 million plastic bags. It's the tip of the iceberg of a mind-boggling amount of trash. But we all know where it ends up, don't we?
It's just like a giant hole that's on fire and all the garbage goes in there to waste.
I have no idea what they do with the trash. I don't know if they burn it or they bury it. I have no idea.
They don't just leave the trash there, do they?
I think what really happens is a lot of it goes into the ocean.
Orange County is home to 3 million people, each one chucking on average 1 ton of waste a year, twice as much as in the UK. They may not know where it all ends up, but one guy sure does. David is part of a 100-strong fleet on a mission to clean up the streets. And he can't be late for the landfill.
I've been doing for like almost 15 or 16 years. And the trash never ends, but it's good, not complaining.
Just like the team back at the landfill, David is racing against the clock. Today, he must stop at more than 500 homes. Bit of a challenge when travelling at just 5 miles per hour. But to speed things up, there's some heavy tech to lend a helping claw.
You just press the button, the arms goes out to get the barrel and put it up, down. It's like a little robot doing the job. But you have to have a lot of practice to not put a car into the sidewalk.
As well as brute strength, David's van hides another amazing trick. It can crush the contents of a mammoth 500 bins down to 1/7 of their size.
They start lifting the body up, and then the trash is going all the way in the back. That's making more room to use.
As long as the trash is put out on time.
Run, lady, run! Welcome.
Although it's not just normal household waste that finds its way into David's garbage truck.
I was taking one of those the restaurant beans, the big ones, and one lady was behind me waving the hand. Hey, hey, hey. She was like, oh my God, in that bin you dumped right now, there was a horse. But that was like a rocking horse, you know, like those for little kids. Like, and then I asked her, there, what, you want the horse or? No, not the rocking horse. I mean a real horse. What do you mean, like a horse? She said, yes. Crazy to hear it, but it's true. Real true.
While David keeps an eye out for random rubbish, back at the landfill, the minutes are counting down until the gates are open.
10-4.
And there's a big problem.
No, it's not spending or nothing.
Some things happen unplanned. Right now we have a tarp machine that went down.
And it's not cranking, I don't think.
We got about 15 minutes before traffic starts rolling in.
With the tarp machine out of action, the day could end before it's begun. And there's already dozens of garbage trucks waiting to get in.
There's an electrical problem.
It seems like the issue is it's lost power.
Luckily, a team of 7 mechanics are on site to deal with emergencies. They fix the tarp machine and Big Cat can get back on the job.
10-4.
Yeah, it was an electrical issue. Something with the lights on that machine. He's able to run it.
To make up the lost time, it's all hands on deck.
This is just a small portion of the operation. There's a lot of things that happen day to day behind the scenes that people aren't aware of that helps keep a large landfill like this moving.
Coming up, a tide of trucks is unleashed on the mega landfill.
Over there is already stopped. They're probably over here already.
And there's a near miss on the trash.
I've seen it happen where a dozer ran over a propane tank, exploded, and it'll lift that right off the ground.
In America, a colossal 250 million tons of garbage is thrown out every year. And unlike on this side of the pond, for most of it, the only destination it's headed for is underground. It's 6:50 a.m. in California. And at one of the largest landfill sites in the country, the team have already been working since dawn to get the site ready for the doors to open. As the last of the landfill's covers are whipped off, it's time. At the front gate, 40 garbage trucks from all over Southern California are already queuing to get in. And when the floodgates open, it's up to Supervisor Mimi to keep everything under control.
This is the front line. They come from a long way, so to avoid the traffic, so they come here before the opening time. If they come from LA County, it takes them like about 45 minutes to get here without traffic. But with the traffic, it probably like a couple hours.
These early risers are already stretching way back down the 2-mile access road to the site.
Everybody wants to get first in line, and once they come in, I don't want them to run me over.
Once Mimi has given the okay, there's no holding back the swarm. And these trucks are on the clock. They need to offload and get back out to collect more waste as fast as possible. Trash waits for no man.
As you can see, they're really fast. Yes. I've been here 30 years. Yeah, I see them almost every day.
Every haulage company must pay on behalf of their customers to unleash their loads, depending on how much they're carrying. And the only way to figure that out? It's time for a weigh-in on a mega scale.
This is not a row, this is the scale all the way to that strip over there.
These giant scales are 70 feet long, the length of the longest truck. And where there's trash, there's cash.
The regular customer, they pay $59 per ton.
With as many as 750 trucks arriving from morning till night, Mimi can easily take a staggering $250,000 every day. And next to arrive, with his 12 tons of trash, is garbage hauler David.
Hello. It's trash. That's it. Thank you. Enjoy the view, because we're gonna be all the way on top.
And what a view! This massive area looks like a big crater, but under all this dirt is trash. And the active part of this site, covered this morning with Greg's gigantic tarps, is now covered in trucks.
I hope this thing, he doesn't give up in the middle of the way.
To get there, David must first travel up a steep incline of 7 degrees. And if he doesn't take it easy...
Over there is he's already stopped. They're probably over here already. It's a long way up. It's a long way up.
And what goes up must come down. A perilous journey 100 feet if you don't know what you're doing.
You have to be really careful about the way down because the brakes get burned or get hot.
Easy does it, David.
We're going good, normal temperature.
The road is conquered. But with several trucks already in front of him, there's the risk of a traffic jam on the trash.
Bring it in, boss!
But not on this man's watch. This is Phil.
So I do quite a few things here, but for today, I'm doing traffic control. Up top, boss, go ahead. It can get very chaotic down here during a busy time. We have machinery moving, trucks moving, trying to park, coming out. It is my responsibility to make sure that no one's crashing into one another, trucks are getting where they need to be, and everyone's working safe as possible.
A truck is arriving every minute, so Phil has a very hands-on approach when it comes to managing the traffic.
First and foremost, cone. This is like our bread and butter. When I do this symbol to a driver, they know to go to the very first lane designated by the cone set down on the ground. New line, don't double up. When we have a line of trucks, we use the hand signs to indicate which one we need at that particular time. If I'm asking for a big truck, I have my arms outstretched. If I need one of the little guys or the residential guys, put my hands close together. Rubbing my hands together, again, for different trucks means different things. This guy, he brought in clean dirt.
The cone, the spread eagle, the rub, and not forgetting the tap.
Up top! Tapping your hard hat has a couple different meanings depending on the truck. For this guy, it means go to the top lift.
A lift is a specific spot where trash will be dumped today before getting covered tonight.
We have a top and a bottom lift today that allows us to dump more trash more efficiently. We have to structure it in such a way that it's stable, I guess would be the way to phrase it, stable.
With 450 feet of trash below Phil's feet, stability is everything, especially when it's constantly getting higher.
Around my second year here, I really took a good look around and I realized how much the landscape had changed. We had gone up in elevation maybe a solid 40 to 60 feet in only a few years. It's humbling in the sheer amount of trash that people create and how we use it here, and we quite literally change the landscape.
Phil has seen the terrain transformed by millions of people's unwanted things, from modern-day essentials to memories no longer loved.
I've seen people throw out entire lives, wedding photos, all kinds of stuff. Even though you see sad things like that, keepsakes being thrown out, you can't dwell on it. There's always another truck that needs to be parked, so life moves on.
And the next truck that needs Phil's handy direction is David's.
Yeah, it's really dangerous. Do whatever the guy say, like wait until he gives me the signal.
David may be a pro, but dumping 12 tons of moving trash can lead to disaster.
Back door open. If you go sideways a little bit, it's really dangerous because you can flip to the side and you don't want that. It looks like it's already done, so. See you guys.
As David knows from his travels with the trash, some people will try their best to sneak on the garbage truck what they're not allowed. But here at the landfill, there's a team dedicated to seeking it out. As more and more of this morning's trash arrives, the detective work falls to the masked man. Waste Inspector Chris. Time to tuck in, and the only way is by hand.
So I kind of feel for it, you know, and see if I feel anything or I hear anything. I've been doing this 17 years, so I got a pretty good feel for it. I'm the guy in blue. I had the face mask on for dust. I don't want it in my lungs, so I just try to keep covered. Here's some potatoes. R2-D2. When people come to the landfill, they think that we just accept anything. It's partly my job to educate the public and what they can and cannot throw away. I'm looking for hazardous materials. I'm looking for electronics, chemicals, paints, asbestos, appliances, any kind of a tank that has any kind of gas in it. They end up mixing in here. You were talking about a chemical fire. These are items that we need to keep out of the landfills for the protection of the environment, but also for our employees.
A fire on a landfill site could rage for weeks. And it's not long before Chris finds something sinister lurking in the trash.
Found a propane tank, which is very flammable, very combustible. And I've seen it happen where a dozer ran over propane tanks, exploded, and it'll lift that right off the ground. And then there's another propane tank that would be considered very hazardous, very harmful. If it projectiled out and hit one of us.
As well as a sharp eye for flying objects, it's a job that calls for a hardy constitution.
I rarely get sick. I take my vitamin C, I eat my grapefruit, and try to take care of myself as best I can, because I don't know what I'm going to come across out here.
And as if on cue...
Oh, here we go. Microwave. So, we don't want electronics in the landfill. The PC boards, when they're grinded up real small, it's toxic. So, we want to get that out of here.
The landfill will be the forever home for most of the stuff here. But for the lucky few, there's a route to another life.
We want to limit the recyclables that come into the landfills. Anything that's electronic that would have a circuit board in it, there's metals in here and there's plastics, stuff that can be recycled.
To say this wouldn't be most people's dream job is an understatement. But for the masked man, there's no place he'd rather be.
I like being out in the field. I'm a field guy. I don't want to be in an office. I've had opportunities here to be a supervisor. You know what? I feel like my calling's right here. My heart's right here. It's in the trash.
And it's a love affair that's about to get tested. There's an urgent call from Mimi up at the front gate. Some mysterious trash has arrived and set off a warning alarm. And only Chris can find out what it is. Coming up, the monster machines making short work of the trash.
As you can feel beneath us, the ground's shaking, and that's trash beneath us, roughly about 100 feet.
And alarm bells are ringing at the front gate.
Did you hear that? There's our detection right there.
In the UK, we recycle nearly half of what we chuck away. But in the USA, only just over a third of what they dump on the doorstep is recycled. So it's hardly any wonder that it's home to this mega landfill. It's mid-morning in California, and the team has already welcomed 2,500 tons of trash. Everything from hundreds of Friday night pizza boxes to even a pile of cacti. But at the front gate, a load has just arrived that's causing concern for Mimi.
Radiation!
A truck has set up the radiation alarm at the gate.
This machine detects the radiation. So it tells me that some radiation is low.
Everyday essentials we have at home, such as smoke detectors, can contain radioactive elements. There's no telling what's in this truck.
So he cannot dump right now. I have to call the waste inspector to inspect his load.
And while Mimi waits, the troublesome truck is already having serious consequences for the team.
So now you have a line right there.
With the lorry starting to queue, Mimi needs Waste Inspector Chris to find the source as fast as possible.
Is it lane 4?
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Mimi.
You're welcome.
No mask needed here. This job requires a more technical piece of kit.
This is a precise bit of equipment. It picks up radiation more rapid, and it'll pinpoint it for me too. So what I'm doing is I'm just trying to locate it again.
Radiation can be deadly to humans and contaminate land for hundreds of years. There's no way Chris can let the truck into the landfill until he's found out what's in there.
You'll hear an alarm on this. When I pinpoint it, there'll be an alarm. You know what? I'm thinking this might be a false reading.
Chris is about to pack away his probe when...
Did you hear that? There's our detection right there. Now it's going up. So now the detector's located the radiation that's in this trailer.
With radiation confirmed in the trailer, Chris thinks he knows what it can be.
It's probably iodine. It's medical waste, which is found in a diaper or human feces. It can't be disposed of here at the county landfill.
Some treatments in hospital can transfer radiation through a patient's body, so it's a common find. But to be sure, the truck and its radioactive contents must be sent to a specialist site to be identified and disposed of safely. Just a final few safety checks for Chris to do before the driver can be sent on his way.
We do have to check the inside of the cab to see if there's any danger to the driver. There's no radiation detected in the cab, so there's no harm to the driver.
Job done.
Thank you. I feel a sense of pride in doing my load checks and checking for hazardous materials to protect the environment and not allowing things to come into the landfill that aren't supposed to be buried.
Back down on the active site, it's 11 a.m. And the landfill's fleet of mighty machines are making quick work of the mountains of trash that were delivered by David just 3 hours ago.
Just hang tight.
Landfill Operations Supervisor Nathan is in charge of the whole force. But for the next stage in the afterlife of what we chuck away, it's these extra large dozers that are boss.
Daily, we utilize about 4 trash dozers. Typically have 2 on the bottom, 2 on the top. Bulldozers are utilized to push the trash, either to spread it on the slope or push it up to the top.
The trash must be moved to certain areas to be buried, and it's a job that's perfect for these beasts. Each one weighs in at 72 tons, and under the hood is 579 horsepower, 5 times more powerful than the average car. It's super strength that's needed to drive its huge Caterpillar tracks.
The tracks weigh roughly 10,000 pounds a side. Trash is the hardest thing on the bulldozers. To replace all this undercarriage is $200,000, so it's very expensive. It's roughly done every year.
And with thousands of tons of rubbish to shift every day, these dozers, or trash cats, need a supersized shovel.
They're equipped with a large trash blade. This one's about roughly 20 feet, the largest in the industry, and this enables it to be able to push a large amount of trash, almost an entire transfer load.
That's 20 tons in just one push, or 60 if you get a few friends to help.
So right now you can see them triple pushing. You can see how much trash they've just cleared off the landing with basically one push.
These machines are so gigantic, they literally make the ground move.
So as you can feel beneath us, the ground shaking, and that's due to the density of the earth with all the trash beneath us, roughly about 100 feet. It's not solid. The landfill's constantly settling, so you never feel an earthquake at the landfill. It just shakes it up. It's like a big bowl of Jell-O.
Even when today's trash has been moved into position, it can't be buried yet.
Our whole existence is about squeezing as much trash into this site as possible.
And to do that, every bit of air around the trash needs to be eliminated.
Javier or David, one of you guys need to come to the top landing.
It's a job for this metallic monster, the Compactor. With its immense 62 tons of weight, it stomps across the mountains of trash moved by the dozers, pummeling it into the ground. And you wouldn't want to find yourself on the receiving end of these.
The wheel is made of steel. They're about 5.5 feet tall. There's 35 spikes on each wheel, and that's how you get the compaction of the trash.
Adrian has operated a compactor for 31 years.
If you're not careful, it's a very dangerous piece of machine that if you don't focus on what you're doing, you can injure yourself or injure other people, or you can even kill yourself or kill other people.
Although it does have its upsides.
Very fun. I mean, that's the reason why I've been doing it for 31 years already.
Time to hit the trash. This machine isn't just about brute force, it also has brains. State-of-the-art tech allows Adrian to squash the trash down with pinpoint accuracy.
We have a GPS system that will help you a lot.
Both Adrian and the dozer team have this tech in their cabs that tells them exactly where to move it and precisely how far down to compact it. But how does it do it?
All right, Kevin, you want to grab the drone? All right.
Up in the hills, way above Adrian and the team, engineers Kevin and Christian are using the latest drone tech to give the guys all the details they need to move and pummel the trash. That is, if they remember to charge the kit.
Do we have a third battery? What kind? Because this one's dead. We can take the one out of the base. We don't need to have
That's true.
There you go, pilot. Thanks.
Do we have the SD card in it?
Yeah, the SD card's
Okay,
in
thank
it.
God.
The surface here is constantly changing. What we do is take the drone, fly it, and using a technology called photogrammetry, it's actually able to map this surface for us. As the site grows, we need to continuously survey it. We're out here doing this probably twice a month, you know, flying and then building the next lift.
Safety checks complete, okay. The drone can take to the skies.
So there it goes. We'll bring it back to the east end down there, and then on this side, we'll bring it up to the ramp here. That should get us what we need.
Okay.
The drone gets you within 1 centimeter accuracy.
We rely on very advanced GPS technology around here. With this drone to work at its accuracy, it needs this base station to be set up on a control point. It's referencing all the GPS satellites that are up in space and correcting the drone position with the satellite positions.
But it's not all about the practicalities.
There's a reason we have 3 drones at this site.
To be honest, we don't always do the pre-programmed flight path. Sometimes we have a little fun with it.
Thanks to the drone, Kevin and Christian now have enough data to feed back to the team on site.
This surface here, we'll send it out to the machines. They can actually see on their screens how much they need to fill, and that will help them to build the next trash lift. The most important thing is utilizing airspace in the landfill. So doing these designs helps to make sure that we utilize every cubic foot that we're authorized to use.
Big wheels on the ground and eyes in the sky, a perfect match. Coming up, time to meet the feathered friends crucial to the team.
We come up here with predators and make this a dangerous area for the seagulls to be.
And the oldest secret of the mega landfill is revealed.
Our job is to get it out as quickly as possible.
The hills of Orange County are home to a member of an elite club. This mega landfill belongs to what's known in the biz as the Million Ton Club. An exclusive gang of landfills that take more than 1 million tons of trash every year. And as morning turns to afternoon, Adrian and the team haven't stopped. But high above them, there's another crucial squad getting ready for work.
So this is my crew here. That's Wendy in the back squawking. She's saying, "I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille." I've been working on that line all week.
Al is the resident birdman, and his crew of raptors trump any monster truck when it comes to dealing with the biggest pest on site: seagulls.
Down in this trash here is whatever garbage people have thrown out in their kitchen, stuff that's coming from restaurants. For the seagulls, it's a smorgasbord. It's just free food for seagulls. When I started here 6 years ago, you wouldn't have even been able to see the trash down there. It would just be a moving mass of seagulls. And all these guys down here, they were just getting peppered with bird poop.
But it's not just a shower of seagull poo that's the concern. The scavengers cause much bigger problems.
The seagulls would carry trash off, fly out over the public areas out here in the housing districts and stuff. They drop their trash, and they sit in these shallow, warm ponds of water, and they defecate in that, and the bacteria levels get really high, and then the tide comes in, catches that, and they test the water, and they end up closing the beach. It was closed like 260 days out of the year because of the bacteria levels.
When the problem was traced back to the state's landfills, there was only one team right for the job: Al's flying squadron.
We come up here with predators and make this a dangerous area for the seagulls to be. We're not here to kill seagulls, we're here to scare seagulls. What I've found is that if I put the birds on the perch up here on the high ridge above the lift, when the seagulls come in, first thing they're gonna see is a hawk sitting on this perch up here.
Time for Wendy to take to the skies.
We take that off, and there she goes. Here she comes. Go on, go on. Atta girl.
These remarkable birds of prey are the perfect hunting machines. Not only do they have eyesight 8 times better than ours, but once they've spotted their prey, they can enter a killer glide of 50 miles per hour. As Wendy is giving the local seagulls a run for their money, Al keeps Falcon B warmed up.
This is training. So she knows if she catches this lure,
she's gonna get fed. Oh, which she just did. There it is. And you'll notice she's got her wings spread out and her tail spread out and she's hunching over the whole thing because she doesn't want any of the other predators in the area to see that she's caught something. So she's hiding it.
Well, Wendy's job seems to be done, and the guys are safe from the poop for another day. Nature has ruled the roost in this high-tech arena.
Instead of having our flocks of 5,000 like we had 6 years ago, an average flock for us is about 60 to 80 seagulls in the afternoon.
With a hand, of course, from Al. Back down on the active site, and it's time for this morning's rubbish to disappear. It's been dumped, dozered, and compacted. Now it's time for it to be buried. The whole site may get covered with tarps at the end of the day, but as soon as an area reaches capacity, it's time for it to be sealed with dirt.
This is one of the biggest machines here in the landfill.
This machine is called the scraper, and it certainly lives up to its name. Slicing wedges of earth to bury trash, as well as hauling dirt around site. This afternoon, operator David is tucking up the trash with one of these mighty machines. And, just like his ride, he has a nickname of his own.
Smiley. And I got that nickname 21 years ago as a laborer. I think I did something wrong directing traffic. I didn't answer. They said Smiley, and it stuck for 21 years. Even if I'm mad at somebody, I still smile at them.
Smiley needs to pull up the dirt from one section so it can cover David's trash delivered that day.
This is a scraper, this is the dirt. It just comes a little bit under there, and it just fills up, ready to haul wherever they need it.
It's a crucial job repeated 100 times a day to get everyone's old stuff submerged.
It's like a cake, if you think about it. You have your different layers. You got your trash, and then you got your dirt. The hills that you see on the right side of the slope, those are all trash slopes. That's all trash. When I first started, that was a big hole. And now look, it's almost full, 21 years later.
To stand any chance of moving a mega load that weighs the same as 2 garbage trucks, the scraper has not 1, but 2 engines. Transferring this double power into actual movement on the landfill means the scraper has some serious rubber.
So this tire, it's about 9 feet tall. Brand new, this tire cost $15,000.
And Smiley has pushed these wheels to their limits.
My rookie years, I popped 3 tires in one night. I went over a Christmas tree stumps, and I parked it. The next morning, they were all flat, 3 of them. Yeah, $45,000 worth of damage. I thought they were gonna fire me. Showtime.
But sometimes, even giant tires and 2 engines won't do. To scrape up even more dirt, Smiley needs a hookup.
With 2 scrapers, instead of 2 engines, it's 4 engines. So the first scraper gets his load, and then the second guy lowers his bow and picks up the dirt. Saves time, and time is money. Once you get it, it's just like dancing. You go forward, backwards.
And for dancing, surely you need music.
Some tractors have music, some don't. So sometimes I sing mariachi, Mexican music, to myself. So.
How does that go?
It goes good. I'm not gonna sing for you guys. I'm not that good.
Now Smiley's scraper is doubled up, the two machines make quick work, hauling the dirt to cover the trash.
When you're getting your dirt and you see it spilling out to the side, you're almost done. So that's your indicator that you almost got all your dirt.
A colossal 100 tons of earth moved in just 5 minutes. Another layer of the landfill cake covered. But Smiley's not the only one delving into the dirt. While the scrapers do their thing, there's always someone looking for more than last night's takeaway buried in the earth. Melissa is a fossil hunter. And here in California, every landfill site must have one on call in case any prehistoric residents decide to pop up. Here alone, 20,000 fossils have been dug up from the dirt.
While the machinery is coming around and moving dirt, we walk behind it or we stand off to the side to see if we can find any fossils. We watch for color changes in the dirt or shapes that look like fossils, and those are usually our biggest cues that we have something there.
And if they do find something, it can stop work in its tracks.
Our job is to get it out as quickly as possible. So a project that would take a school or a museum an entire summer, we would have to do in, 2 weeks.
The fossils are the oldest secret of the landfill, and there's so many, you can literally trip over them.
Okay, can we stop? Because I just found a whale vertebra. Okay, that's hilarious. It's right here if you want to get a close-up of it. It's a little bit different color than the sediment surrounding it, so it stands out, and you can actually see the pores in the bone. So this is kind of exciting.
It may look just like a rock, but if this is confirmed as a whale fossil, it will join the many others Melissa and her team have found on this patch.
There's another chunk of bone right here.
But how did a whale end up here in the hills of the landfill, 20 miles from the coast?
This area was underwater probably between about 25 and 7 million years ago. But the land has been uplifted, so now it's 1,500 feet above the ocean. I'm the first person to ever touch this whale. It hasn't seen the light of day since it died 20 million years ago. It's always exciting. This is why I do what I do.
Coming up, a big danger for the team needs a stinky solution.
Not a good smell. Like a guy not going in the shower for a month or so.
And as the landfill gets bigger, it's a constant battle for nature.
We'll never fully restore what impacts the landfill has done to the environment unless I can restore 700 acres of land.
It's 2 p.m. and the Californian sun is heating up the mega landfill. Here, temperatures can reach more than 30 degrees Celsius, and with high heat comes danger for the team. Dust. If it's not kept in check, it can cause mayhem, blinding and choking the workers on the ground. Today, it's up to Master of Machines, Big Cat, to keep the dust at bay.
Drive water truck, trash, anything they want me to do. Today's water truck. Try to keep the dust down, or they get to eat the dust.
All day, every day, water is blasted from the truck to dampen down the dust.
We got 6 sprayers on this water truck, 4 rear and 2 side sprayers.
But this water isn't from the tap. Within the layers of trash cake, the decomposing rubbish creates a liquid called leachate that's hoovered up and sent to the tank farm. Along with groundwater, together this affectionately called trash tea is then recycled by Big Cat back on site. And with an empty truck, he needs to top up his tank quickly before the dust starts to cause mayhem.
Getting groundwater, getting about 400 gallons a minute.
And just like a good cuppa needs milk, this trash tea needs topping up with lovely leachate. But there's no Earl Grey aroma for this special blend.
Leachy water does not smell good. Really, really don't smell good at all. Not a good smell. It's like a guy not going in the shower for a month or so. After 31 years, I can't smell nothing no more.
Which is a good job.
Dust is like a never-ending story. You gotta maintain it all day long.
So what do others in the team think about the aromas on site?
Being here for over 32 years, you kind of get accustomed to that smell.
Just imagine you're leaving the trash can in your house for like 3 weeks and then open up the trash can.
I was a truck driver before. I drive 18-wheelers, cross country. So when I came to the landfill, it was a bit of a change. It took about a year, probably about 2 years, to actually get used to the smells.
Doesn't bother me, but when you see a fresh guy come out of the truck, you can see, oh, it does smell out here.
But there are some people who aren't just okay with the smell, they're drawn to it.
My speaker system is not working today. Are you able to hear me okay back there? That's great.
Big Cat and the team are about to get an audience.
So right now we're driving on trash. Everything to the left of us and everything to the right and below of us is trash.
You won't find it in your holiday brochure, but once a week, the landfill opens its doors to people from all over the world. And this afternoon, Weena is their guide.
We're looking down on our left at the active lift, but as we round the corner, you'll see more trash. You guys see these tarps rolled up on their spools right here? They'll use that to cover up the trash tonight. No one realizes what goes on in a landfill. For them, they throw away their trash, the trash truck comes and picks it up, and it's out of sight, out of mind. They just want it gone.
Well, time for them to see where it all ends up.
All right. Alan, just watch your step. There's a handle right here. Okay. Does it smell like trash yet?
It does now.
We're downwind, so that all the smell is coming our way. It is pretty disheartening to see what people throw away. I think we can reuse more and reduce what we throw away, which means if we put more thought into that, that means our landfills last longer.
Very few people have seen the landfill this close, and it looks like they're impressed.
I'm amazed that they can do all this. I had no idea. I live not far from here, and I'm just amazed.
What shocks me about the place is it's so busy. And this is every day, and we're even standing on trash right now. We're at one landfill. Imagine the state, the country, countries, every day the amount of trash that's accumulated.
Bucks, and the landfills look like apocalyptic wastelands. Like there's smoke coming up, and there's of course gases coming up. Oh, it's so much better.
I'd like to come back and take another tour sometime.
It's so nice when I have visitors come and they recognize all the work that goes on in a landfill. Oh my gosh, I see a seagull.
Oh, where's that falcon? I want to see that falcon.
As soon as the tour is over, Weena has another job to do at the landfill. She's the resident biologist, and all that trash talk has her running late.
Sorry, I'm running late. So are these the last few plants you got?
Yeah.
In California, there's a lot of protected wildlife, plant life that are threatened or endangered. Whenever their habitat is removed, I have to compensate for its destruction and replace it somewhere, restore plant life, restore habitat. What's going to be your watering schedule for this area?
This area probably, I don't know, twice a week.
Today, the team are planting up a new area to replace one destroyed by the landfill's expansion.
Healthy plant? Yep. We can plant this one.
And the law says if this work isn't done, the landfill won't be allowed to run.
Is California state law. What you see planted today is in replacement to something that was the home to a bird species or a lizard. Right now, it's brand new container plants. There is a delay in the compensation that we're doing. So we're doing whatever we can to put it back.
And it's not cheap.
Just planting this project alone is $10,000. The construction of the wetland basin, I believe, was $2.3 million.
So far, Weena's team have recreated 14% of what used to be here before the landfill. Their efforts have reaped rewards, bringing many rare species back to the area.
When I do encounter protected species, it makes my heart twitter. It brings me joy to see these protected species flourishing, even if it is on a landfill.
But it will be a long time before things are as good as new.
We'll do our best to put the landfill back into the natural environment, but it'll look like a puzzle piece. It'll look just a little bit different. Given 100 years' time, 200 years' time, perhaps it will absorb back in and look the same.
Weena's not the only one on site getting green-fingered. On a hill not too far away,
Look at the stuff.
it doesn't look much, but Administration Manager Isaac and Director Tom have high hopes for this humble pile of compost.
What you see behind me is the pilot, but this area will really be the cornerstone of green waste composting here in Orange County.
Just over a third of all the trash brought on site is food and green waste that causes lots of greenhouse gases. By composting it instead, it's better for the environment, and they'll save up to a whopping 20% of space. But this rotten idea does have its risks.
Phase 1 will cover 200 tons per day. We'll have a flat pad and fire extinguishers surrounding the pad, supported by 2 100,000-gallon water tanks. The pile can combust, and we are in a canyon area on a high fire location. We want to make sure that we don't have any situations where the compost can combust, so we have to water that pile if it gets too warm.
So, before they supersize their plans, it's crucial they know their cooking times.
You want to see that compost around 131 to 160, and right now this pile is about 145.
And it's looking like a perfect bake.
But here's a little bit. This is what we have so far.
If all goes to plan, there soon should be more room at the landfill. And tons of compost for the locals. That's if they can keep careless consumers in check.
One of the things that I notice is the amount of plastics and contamination that continue.
We're getting glass, plastics, a lot of different materials that it's not green waste.
There's a lot more education that's going to be needed with the residents in order to get some of this cleaned out prior to making it to us. One of the challenges that we have is to make sure that people are throwing away the right things and recycling the right things, because once the waste is buried, it's there forever. And what we're doing today isn't just for us. We're doing this for generations to come.
Coming up, the day may nearly be over for our trash, but there are big plans for the future.
So where we're standing right now, we're going to be 100 feet below trash.
As the day creeps forward at the mega landfill, so does the wall of waste. It's hard to believe, but this site, bigger than Disneyland, is running out of space. And with less and less landfills being allowed to open in California, the team need to use up every bit of it they can.
It's a huge, mega structure that we're building here. It's almost like an architect that's designing it. It's constantly being built like a mega skyscraper.
Step forward this team of hard hat heroes who have a mega plan for the mega landfill.
So this is a good vantage point to take a look at where we're going. Here's the 8A excavation plan that we're doing.
Kevin and his team are getting ready for a trash takeover on an epic scale.
It goes all the way from here, all the way over the side of that hill. This whole large area is the landfill. So all of the area behind me, all of the area over there, all of that is going to be filled with waste and actually be 100 feet above us. So where we're standing right now, we're going to be 100 feet below trash. There's just an awful lot of space to place trash, but it is filling up, quicker than you'd think.
And it's far from as simple as filling a hole.
A landfill is an engineered design. There's a lot of engineering, a lot of very serious thought put into it.
That includes dealing with 4 landslides to take this site to the next level.
When we originally had the landslide in 2002, it was moving probably about a foot a day. Since then, we've actually spent close to $100 million trying to stabilize the whole hill.
They're literally making mountains so they can get in more trash.
One of the big problems is that we have soil that we remove, and we have to find a place to put the soil. And so if you look at that hill over there, we're actually going to place 5 million cubic yards of dirt on top of that hill so that we can then take the trash and place it there.
It's an unbelievable feat that when the site is projected to be full in 2053, would see their homemade canyon squeeze in another 20 years of waste. It won't ever leave here. Or is there a chance of escape? Back on the current site, today's trash will soon be mingling with rubbish residents who've been here for decades. And they're constantly sneaking out as methane gas. The gas from the decomposing mass down below is pumped 24/7 through 45 miles of pipes from under the ground to a state-of-the-art electricity power plant on site. And today, just like every day, it's on a mission.
We're actually pulling the methane off the landfill and we're cleaning it up, and then we're sending it over to the engines to produce electricity.
The tech is so advanced to transform the trash, it only needs 4 people to run it. One of them is Brian. Time to power up.
So we start the engine up, it gets up to speed. The red means that the breaker is closed and that we're generating electricity. The green means that this breaker is open, is not allowing electricity to go through. It's fairly simple, fairly simple. So if we had a problem, we basically shut down the plant from home.
This whopping engine and generator create enough power for 26,000 local homes.
Well, I know that a lot of people look at landfills and and have a frown on their face, but we've been able to do something special here. You have to send your trash somewhere, and we're making the most out of it and doing something special.
It's 5 p.m, and as the last garbage truck leaves, the team can finally put today's trash to bed.
Just imagine if we didn't push trash somewhere, the streets would be dirty and gross.
In the last 10 hours, nearly 1 million bin bags worth of trash has been dropped, dozered, bashed, and buried. What used to be a canyon is now on its way to becoming a mountain.
From time to time, I go to some higher elevation points, just amazed at the size and what we handle every day.
It's an epic necessity for millions of people.
It's a way for society to get rid of stuff, so it's out of sight, out of mind, but it means people don't think about what they throw away.
And it won't be here forever.
They think landfills are an endless commodity, and it is a finite resource.
But until that happens, there's always a home here for the trash that never stops.
Enjoy fine foods and sumptuous wines, all while taking in the most spectacular scenery on the planet. Great Luxury Railway Journeys is tomorrow at 8. If you're missing that summer sun, make sure to join Bethany Hughes as she continues her Greek Odyssey, new tomorrow at 9. Next, we're riding shotgun with the super rich in world's most luxurious cars.